Good Monday evening. This is Lawrence Sam. The other day, my wife and I were walking the dogs, and one of them stopped to sniff the grass, and I noticed something on the ground. It was money. As it turned out, it was actually a $20 bill. And no one was around, so I picked it up and I pocketed it. I don't know about you, but I love to find money, okay? And that's a little bit what today's episode's about, found money. Okay, of course, I don't mean you should expect to be able to walk around and find money, but I do mean finding the money that you already have to succeed and get ahead financially, okay? So let's get started. Growing up, most of us are taught really only two things about money: how to spend it and how to work for it, in that order. Most of us really aren't taught is how to make money work for us. And the consequences of our lack of financial literacy are hitting us hard. So over the course of my life, I've kind of followed two parallel professional paths. One as a cognitive behavioral therapist and the other as a personal finance entrepreneur. So over that time, I've learned one important thing: that money is a game. There are rules, there are winners, and there are losers. And I want you to money for the win. Okay, so before I get into the details of today's video, I want to express some thanks. So let's see. I've gotten a few more subscribers this week. Our last video didn't get as many views, so I do want to thank those who commented on the last video. But I also want to take a moment to thank the mentors in my life over the course of my life. Have you ever heard that expression, a self-made millionaire? Well, I have, but I kind of reject it. I don't believe any of us, no matter the level of success, are actually self-made. Nobody can be born on their own, so that's the first thing, and nobody can survive as infants without something. So I think there's a lot of things to be thankful for that are in place around us. But in particular, I want to talk about mentors. So my friends, my family, people I've known in the Marines, people I've known in the diplomatic corps, co-workers, and including authors. And that was a weird way to pronounce that, authors, okay? Book writers, seminar speakers, business mentors, podcasters, and YouTubers. So I've heard it said before that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And so I'm always striving to be the best version of myself. And through exposure, and particularly these kind of books and podcasts and YouTube and seminars, things like this, I'm constantly being exposed to people who have the type of success or have values or have characteristics that I want to see in myself. So I want to just give thanks, shout out to all those folks, okay? All right, so the subject I want to start with today, found money. I want you to think about your money, of managing your personal finances. Treat it like a job, treat it like a business. Okay, so this is the idea. I want you to think about, where do you work? If you're employed, how many hours do you put in? Just straight work hours, probably 40 hours a week, maybe more, if you're working full time. But in addition to that, think about the time you put in to commute and maybe lunch, and if you do any stuff at home related to your job. So you're putting in 40 plus hours a week. Now, I don't know what you're making. The average American makes about $60,000 a year. Maybe you're making more, maybe you're making a lot more. It doesn't matter. That income flows into your life. And I have some good news and I have some bad news. If you're like the majority of Americans making $60,000 a year, over the course of your lifetime, over $1 million are going to flow in and out of your life. My question is, what percentage of that $1 million or more are you going to have to show for it? How much of it do you have now? If you're not happy with that answer, this is part of the solution. Treat your money management like a job. Treat it like a business. Okay, what do I mean, treat it like a job? I mean, treat it like a job. You're serious about getting to work on time. Look at Molly. She's like creeping on me. It's so weird. Look at her. She's looking halfway through. That's funny. Okay. She sees I called her out. Okay, treat it like a job. So think about how you treat your job. You prepare for it, you dress for it, you have a scheduled time for it, you show up. You depend on it for your income. I want you to understand, and so this goes back to this idea of in the cognitive behavioral therapy, that your thoughts affect your reality. So your beliefs, treat your money management like a job. It's going to make you more money than your job does. So one scenario I talk about is if we started at the age of 24, so let's say we went to college and graduated and started putting aside $500 to $600 a month into what's called a Roth IRA, a type of retirement account, month after month for the next 20 to 40 years. Well, let's just say 40 years. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, so I'll have to run a kind of scenario on it some other time. At the age of 24, $650 a month would make you a millionaire. That's it. That's it. All you have to do is that's $650 a month starting at the age of 24. By the time retirement age, you're probably a multimillionaire, if I remember the numbers right, okay? So if you're going to be a multimillionaire because of your money management, doesn't it make sense to treat it seriously, take it seriously? Your job is paying you $60,000 a year over the course of 40 years. I use calculators, okay? Just so you know, I don't calculate all my money in my head. I use calculators, and so should you. Programs and calculators, okay? Anyway, I'm kind of getting off track. That's the reason why I don't have any of these numbers in front of me. The point being that you will make more money over the course of your life managing your personal finance like a job. So you spend 40 plus hours a week building somebody else's dream, building somebody else's company or providing somebody else's service. You should spend some time building your own. So schedule a time, schedule an hour or more, what's necessary. It doesn't have to be all at one time. It can be a few minutes, quarter hour, 15 minutes a day, every day. But I would say determine the amount of time you're going to spend. So we've already kind of talked before about setting goals and establishing a why, your dream, what's your emotional motivation. So that's what's gonna drive you. I don't care if it's hard. The fact is, it's actually not hard. If you're telling yourself it's hard, you've been lied to and you're believing the lie. Managing your money is easy, okay? It's easy. Getting ahead is easy. Becoming a millionaire is easy. You need to tell yourself this. It's just a matter of doing the activities necessary. And the activities are not complicated. They're very simple. So treat it like a job. Schedule a time and kind of plug away at it, all right? Treat it like a business. Your goal in a business is to make profit. So engage in valuable either production of a product or a valuable service. So do that for yourself. The planning, the time will all pay off. The fact of the matter is, I do believe that you work and you work hard, you earn an income, and you deserve to keep some of it. If you're living paycheck to paycheck like 80% of Americans are, that means all the money that comes into your life goes out. Think about that. All the money that comes into your life is going to somebody else. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think you should have to live that way. And I think you deserve to keep some of it, okay? Now, I want you to think about that. If you show up every single day and the money that you earn goes to somebody else, that you don't have anything to show for it, it's kind of like you're working for free, all right? All right, okay, now that you have set aside that time and that you are planning to do the work in an effort to better understand your finances, I want you to find the money. Okay, so here's some of the things. I got a couple options. Some people budget. I'm a budgeter. I can keep track of the numbers. I used to use some software. Now I just do Excel. If you're not a budgeter, that's okay. But I do want you to understand where your money's coming and going, okay? So what you can do is also think of it as a spending plan. People like to spend their money. So just decide that there's 100% of income coming into your life and make a decision where it's going to go. What I want you to do, you do have to do some work. All right, don't think, again, you're not going to get $1 million for doing no work, for not doing any work. Think about this. Don't ever be deceived into this idea of get rich quick does not mean working hard. Some people do. Some people, to be honest, get rich over the course of your lifetime is better than living dead broke or dying dead broke. All right. this is what I want you to do. This is an actual activity. It's going to be worthwhile. Okay, today, this is January. I want you to go back in December, and maybe November, both months, but just absolutely 1 month, and go back to your bank statements, go back to your credit card statements, go back to your bills. You got to organize. Take the time to organize. It doesn't have to all happen at one time. Just systematically set aside that time and start working at it. And then I want you to take a look at every financial transaction that took place over the past month or two and categorize them. Okay? I'm not asking you to take any kind of look at it yet, as far as whether you want it in your life or not. Just take a look at it. And I use 10 broad categories. So I want you to write down these categories, put a number next to every transaction that represents this category. Okay, I use these 10. If you want to divide it up further, feel free. I just try to keep it simple, and I want you to keep it simple to start out. Keeping in mind, this is a progression. You did not get taught financial literacy, money management at school. So understand, it would be ridiculous to expect a first grader to understand 12th grade schoolwork. Okay? So allow yourself to be in this learning process where you're just starting out, and the concepts you'll get better at it, and the concepts will get more complicated over time. But if you engage in this process, you will learn. Okay, so the point here when I talk about this is I'm not trying to teach you to budget. I just want you to believe that the money to get ahead, the money to win, money for the win, exists in your income right now. You might be already telling me right now, no, it's not. I don't have the money. You know, when I used to meet with clients in my financial services business, people would tell me that all the time. I don't have the money. I can't afford it. It's a error in thinking. That's what we call it in cognitive behavioral therapy, an error in thinking. It's misinformation. Maybe you've been intimidated. Maybe you've made a lot of mistakes. It doesn't matter. The truth is you can get ahead financially. It's just a matter of will you, if you will make the choice to engage in the process of getting ahead. Okay? So the 10 categories I want you to use to categorize every financial transaction: charity, savings, taxes, shelter, so whether you rent or you have a mortgage, prices related to that. Household. Now, household is a very broad category because I wanted to just keep it down to 10, okay? So that includes groceries, but not eating out. So I don't have a category for food because I think that eating at home is a household expense, whereas eating out is fun or entertainment. Okay, 6, transportation. So this is car, gas, oil change. I have 7th category is a special category. This is interest, like from a credit card, fees, charges, and subscriptions. So I want you to put down whether or not these are fees because you carry a balance on a credit card, or interest, if they're fees from the bank like overdraft or ATM, any of these kind of fees. Also subscriptions like Netflix or magazines or anything that just kind of is entertainment or some other thing that just is a recurring monthly expense. Except for utilities. Utilities would be in your household. These subscriptions would be a fixed amount every month, okay? And 8 would be fun. 9 would be insurance, not car insurance. Car insurance would be part of transportation. Health insurance, life insurance, etc. And then there's a category 10, which is other. So anything that doesn't fall into those first 9. All right, so again, the whole idea, if you choose to budget, go ahead and either keep those 10 or you can decide to create your own. If you don't choose the budget, that's a good starting point because I want you to get an idea of where your money is going, okay? So now you know where your money goes. I want you to take a moment to prioritize and choose control, okay? I talk a lot about the role of psychology in our financial behavior, okay? Our thoughts, feelings, and behavior when it comes to money. The advertising industry has spent millions doing the same thing, okay? They know psychologically how to get past your defenses, how to get past your logic, to prey upon you, to prey upon us, okay? So we have to exercise choice. So I want to encourage you to a practice of mindfulness, to increase your awareness of your day-to-day experience, and most importantly, when you're making a purchase or a financial choice, to be aware of why. That this credit card, this food, this gift, whatever it is, whatever you're about to purchase, is it leading you towards your goal or away from your goal? Is it leading you towards your why or away from your why? Be very conscious of these things, okay? I encourage you to start saving first, prioritize saving and spending after that. And then set up your plan to get ahead financially by making it automatic. So although I'm focusing on finances, and people like to say money can't buy you happiness. You know what? When you're struggling financially, a lot of times people think more money is the answer. Before, I've talked about the majority of lottery winners are actually worse off 5 years later after winning the lottery than they were before. That's because the mindset is not right, the behavior is not right, their thoughts are not right. So I'm focusing right here, right now, on your thoughts and your feelings, so to help you guide your behavior. This can often have an impact as well on relationships. Okay? The number one cause of marital discord is finances. So when people talk about money can't buy happiness, I'd say it can pay off misery. Okay? So if you're hungry, or you live in an unsafe place, or you're stressed out over bills and you're in conflict with your partner, proper money management, aligning with each other to solve problems, these can go a long way. All right, one last thing I want you to think about is anytime you're making a purchase, ask yourself, is this a want, a need? No, let me go in the other order. Is this a need, a want, or a luxury? And make your choice. So I'm not saying don't do any of those things. I'm just saying make a choice. Be conscious about it. Okay? So the whole point of this video is this idea of found money. By going through these kind of three steps, view your personal finance as a job, as a business, find the money, and then make priorities and choose. You're going to find areas to start funding your advancement, your success. Okay? So that's been Found Money with Money for the Win, Lawrence Sam. I want to invite you to go ahead and click down below, down here where it says subscribe. Right now, we're trying to build a community. I'm trying to get this message out to fill the gap in financial success that our country has not been providing. So your subscriptions matter, your comments matter, your likes matter. All of this activity, you can be part of contributing to this algorithm and creating this kind of influence in your life and the lives of other people, okay? One thing I do ask is that when you make a view, you view for 10 minutes or more. There's an algorithm in YouTube that's influenced by the number of views we have, the number of subscribers, and how long they watch, okay? So just to recap really quick, I talked about treat money management as a job. Set aside some specific time for specific length of time and keep at it. See it as a business. Have a goal of making a profit, of having money left over that you will then use to advance towards your goals. Find the money. So after categorizing all these items, then actually I'm not even asking you to do anything about it. I just want you to become aware that there is flexibility. You have money in your cash flow that can go towards your success. And so now finally, just raising your mindfulness, stop kind of consuming just blindly and numbly and being impacted by impulse and advertising. So hopefully that contributes towards your goals. I want to ask you to comment below any questions you have on any of the videos I've created, or this one in particular. Let's see. I did want to ask a specific question, and that is, if anything, okay, what areas do you suspect you're going to find money? And then come back and answer the question and tell me, were you surprised by any totals? Were you surprised at how much money? So like myself, years ago, I was buying fast food every meal. On my way to work, I was buying breakfast. Out at work, I was buying lunch. And on the way home, I'd buy dinner. Okay? So Well, let's just say like it's $7 to $8 per meal. That's like $20 a day. $5 days a week. That's $100 a week. 4 weeks a month. That's $400. That's almost $5,000 a year in fast food. Not talking about movies and going out or anything, just fast food. Now, I didn't literally eat 3 meals a day, 5 days a week for a year, but I did have an unhealthy habit that unfortunately I did break. But that's a retirement plan, right? I was talking before about putting aside $600 a month. That's $400 a month. So come back and tell me, were you surprised at any of these results? Or even if you suspected it? Anyway, let's see. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, the subject is going to be FOMO, YOLO, and LDB. So you only live once, fear of missing out, and living dead broke. All right. As always, I want to encourage you to be rich and enrich others. Have a good night.